News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
An armed burglar sought all day yesterday is still at large. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Tuesday, November 10th, 2015. Right now we've got some light rain in the area. Roads are bare and wet throughout western Montana right now. It's 34 degrees in Missoula. We do have a winter weather advisory, though, that continues until noon today. And we do have some winter weather, especially just east of us over in the Drummond area up by Seeley Lake, expecting heavy snow there. Good morning, everyone. This newscast this morning sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville, where they offer the best of western Montana living. Missoula police and sheriff's deputies out in force yesterday, searching for a burglary suspect on 26th Street. It's not far from C.S. Porter Middle School. According to County Sheriff's Department spokeswoman Brenda Bassett, the 911 call came in at about 12:16.
A male reported returning to his home on the 2300 block of 26th Street to find a suspect in his house. He said the suspect had a revolver and a handheld radio and that he claimed to be a law enforcement officer. The victim said his house was in disarray and that the suspect pointed a gun at him before leaving the residence.
Authorities are hoping someone might notice the suspect and call 911.
Right now we are searching for that suspect. He's described as being a white male in his 30s to 40s. He stands about 5 feet 8 inches tall. He was last seen wearing a dark blue baseball cap, a green American Eagle sweatshirt with jeans, and possibly carrying a backpack. And we do want to let everyone know that the schools in that area have been notified.
Again, as of this morning, I checked with both the city and the county law enforcement authorities. That suspect is still at large. U.S. prosecutors are asking the Canadian and British governments to extradite officials with an online pharmacy to face charges of smuggling mislabeled, unapproved, and counterfeit cancer drugs. 14 companies and individuals from Canada, the United Kingdom, Barbados, and the U.S. are accused of participating in the conspiracy in which $78 million in drugs were sold to U.S. doctors over 2 years. Winnipeg-based CanadaDrugs.com and its CEO, Christian Thorkelson, are accused of spearheading the conspiracy, aided by subsidiaries in the UK and Barbados. The defendants were no-shows for 2 previous court dates. Assistant U.S. Attorney Chad Spraker said in a recent court filing that prosecutors will request assistance through extradition treaties with Canada and the U.S. The 3-member commission, whose responsibility it is to set a fair market valuation for the Mountain Water Company and its assets, heard closing arguments yesterday in Missoula District Court from attorneys for the City of Missoula and Carlisle Infrastructure Partners. For the city, Harry Schneider pointed out one number that came up again and again.
Well, looky here. Look what we've got. All the way across, folks. We contend that it's 132.8 as of May 6, 2014, but all of these numbers support that and that range. All of those numbers.
Carlisle attorney Bill Mercer closed by appealing to the Commission for Fairness in setting the valuation.
The depth and extensiveness of the due diligence that went into a contract like this is very significant in terms of your consideration when that process went from May of 2014 to September of 2014. It is very significant to the question of what compensation Mountain Water is entitled to as part of this litigation.
Yesterday, the court set limits of the valuation from $45 million to $145 million. Their decision is due by November 19th. The State Human Rights Commission has found Montana State University Northern responsible for both discriminating against and retaliating against a dean. The Havre Daily News reports the commission's ruling on Friday overturned a hearings officer's finding in May that Randy Bachmeyer, Northern Dean of Extended University, had not been subjected to sexual discrimination. Commissioners found that former Provost Rosalind Templeton subjected Templeton to unwanted touching and that the university retaliated against him when he filed a human rights complaint about it. However, the commission reduced from $75,000 to $20,000 the damages awarded Bachmeyer for the retaliation. Northwestern Energy and Cypress Creek Renewables are investigating the possibility of putting a solar energy farm in East Missoula. Cypress Creek spokesman Jason Carr explains the size and scope of the project.
So this is about a 3-megawatt size solar project. And to put that into perspective, it would power about 540 homes and utilize about 40 acres. Well, of course, we got to go through the local process and get approval by Missoula County.
Missoula County will have a public comment period and public hearings on whether or not to grant a residential area variance to the solar project coming up next month. Carr explains why his company is looking to put more energy into a state that is a net energy exporter.
We look for states with favorable power rates and also long-term contracts. So with Northwestern Energy, we're able to sell the power to the utility with a consistent pricing structure over a 25-year period. So that gives us pricing consistency and also for consumers as well.
According to Carr, this will be the first Cypress Creek solar project ever in Montana, but they're also looking to put another facility up in Hardin, Montana. General rifle season has been going for 2 weeks now, according to Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks Public Information Officer Vivica Krauser. Hunters have had a successful start.
The 3 hunter check stations that we routinely run in the region, one near Darby, one near Bonner, and one near Anaconda, have all showed us that about 2 weeks into the season, what we've got is a elk and whitetail deer harvest that's looking pretty good, and it's higher than last year, and actually the whitetail harvest is higher than we've seen it since 2008.
The mule deer harvest is actually down so far for the year, but Krauser says a decline was expected because of more strict hunting regulations. She says hunting regulations that have been more strict from the past have led to an increase in elk and whitetail populations this year.
The whitetail harvest, if you look at Bonner, which is the check station that is the one that really measures that, we have a harvest so far of 157 deer, which is 19% above last year and 30% higher than the 5-year average. We've seen 218 elk through the 3 check stations so far this season, which compares to 155 last year.
The elk harvest this year is 36% higher than at the same time last year, but the elk harvest is still below the 5-year average. Finally, a hunter in the Clarks Fork area is recovering after being attacked by a grizzly bear near the Wyoming-Montana state border. The Cody Enterprise reports Game and Fish Bear Wise Community Coordinator Dusty Lassiter said the bear charged at the mule deer hunter, knocked him down, and then fled. The hunter wasn't harmed in last week's incident but was taken to a hospital for evaluation. News Talk time now, 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Well, mostly cloudy to cloudy skies with areas of snow early. We do have a winter weather advisory in effect until noon. After that, mostly cloudy skies, highs in the upper 30s. Wind will be out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.